everyone, I'm April and today we're going to be doing an unboxing and assembly of a Snogo. There we go. That's pretty.
You like the color?
Yeah. And Kyle, who's behind the camera, will be helping me assemble it because he's already put one together, but it'll be my first try. It should go pretty easy so you guys can see how to do it yourself.
The tools we're going to need today are a 3mm, 4mm, 5mm Allen wrench, or a tri-Allen, which has a 4, 5, and 6 on it, and a 10mm socket. We're also going to need a box cutter to open up the box. Rob, the guy at Snogo, he told me that instruction kit isn't the most useful.
Okay.
But he did say that over here, they actually have a QR code.
Oh, cool.
And if you scan that, it'll actually send you to a little Snogo tutorial video. So,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Or you can just watch this one too. We got grips, so lock-on grips. This is going to be the stem, and that's a height adjustable stem, which is kind of interesting, but it's kind of cool. Got your headset. That's going to be the most kind of technical part that'll probably throw people off the most. And then these are your foot mount or like hooks.
Okay.
And basically this hardware goes to that. Now that we got all the little parts kind of set up, let's go ahead and start assembling this thing. The frame mounts to the rear skis with this point and this little ball heim joint there. That front main pivot, which is here, goes through this. So unscrew that, put the main pivot in there, and then that little ball goes on that post. And that's how you would essentially, if you wanted to like take it apart to put it in your car, you do that each time. So it's pretty easy.
Okay.
Cool. And so see this little groove?
Oh, yep.
So that'll just go right in there. And then if you'll notice, after you thread it on, there's a little hole inside of the bolt.
Yeah.
Cool. So see.
Right there.
Yeah, that little hole.
Okay.
And that's where that clip goes, safety clip.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, so now we'll go to the rear.
Ooh.
It's light, huh?
Yeah. That is actually lighter than I thought.
Okay, so then that has this, which kind of rotates. So if it's not in the right position, you can always kind of straighten it out.
Okay.
And then that just slides right on that post. You can kind of try to wiggle this too.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if that
Makes sense.
will help.
There we go. Cool. And then same thing.
Almost there. There you go. Well, now you have almost half assembled Snogo.
Nice. Not too bad.
Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put on the fork. It's not that hard, but this is where you're going to put on your gloves.
Okay.
And we're going to grab a little bit of grease and then go ahead and assemble that. For this part, if you just have the front of the bike hanging off the end of the box a little bit, yep, and then the fork will go right in. When you pull out the headset, anything that's basically metal, you're going to want to grease. So if you see like the stainless steel, you'll want to grease that because that'll be interfacing with something else.
Okay.
This is your lower bearing.
Okay.
This is your upper bearing. This little wedge goes in to the upper bearing like that. And it can be pretty thin, but basically you just want enough to where it won't creak over time.
Okay.
That's like perfect. Now you just work it around the outside.
Okay. That's pretty thin.
Cool. And then you'll want to do the inside as well. And then repeat on the top bearing.
Probably got a ton of grease in my hands, so.
That's okay. Yeah, you just want a little bit to kind of help it from seizing and then also help it from creaking.
Okay.
All right, so now that you have the fork, do you see how this has a little bit of a taper?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what you're going to do is basically, see how this side doesn't have a taper of the bearing? It's a straight.
Yeah.
And then see how that side has a taper?
Mm-hmm.
So the tapers go together.
Okay.
So just slide that onto the fork.
Ooh, it's greasy.
Cool. And then that will slide into the frame after. So now we can prep by putting the top bearing in the frame.
Okay.
And so if you look on the frame, again, see how that has a little taper?
Okay, there you go.
Yep. This would be a good time to grab your Allen wrench and your stem and put them in your pockets.
Okay.
Since since you've never done this before, what we're gonna do, we're gonna slide the fork through the frame. So it'll go up through the frame, and then you'll have the exposed steer tube sticking out. Then you're gonna slide this on first. So that'll sit down. Then the cap, spacer, stem, and then your top cap.
Okay.
Yep. And that will like compress really well once you tighten everything down.
Okay.
So it just kind of all slides on there.
There we go.
And then now you'll just throw that top cap on.
It's hard with these gloves being this size.
Cool. And then that'll kind of help you hold everything together. So once you just get that snug, you can let go of that bottom hand. There you go.
But it spins. Not tighten all the way.
Well, it should spin because it's your headset bearings.
Yeah.
So just tighten it all the way.
Okay.
That should be plenty. All right, so now you got that all set up. And now we're going to put the front ski on. And then that'll kind of help you keep your handlebars straight.
Do we care about this? Like,
No, that's all
right now?
preset.
Okay. There we go.
Boom.
Easy.
So now what we'll do is you're going to end up loosening these 4 bolts here. And we'll slide the handlebars through. As far as the roll angle, just get this kind of snug now, and then once you get it all done, we'll put the Snogo on the ground and figure out the right angle, because we'll have to adjust the height of the stem as well.
Okay.
These come with the stem loose, so you'll need to we'll adjust that later. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to install your foot hooks down here. Yeah, so 2 bolts will go up top and 1 in the bottom track.
And it looks like you can adjust where you want it.
Yep. But just get it snug for now. These foot things will slide forward and back. The furthest back would be the smallest foot. The furthest forward would be a bigger foot. Also in here, you have the ability to adjust up and down. Personally, I just always had it in the furthest down position to squeeze my foot really well. Also, on my personal bike, I put some little rubber strips of mastic tape in here, and that rubber grips my shoe or my boot really well. And so that's like a little tech tip or hack you can try out too. All right, so now all we need to do is we need to adjust your handlebar height and put on the grip. Go ahead and stand on the tracks. And so you could see where it would kind of feel comfortable. You're gonna end up probably having your knees bent a little bit more, so kind of be in that position. I run my stem like almost vertical. So now you can kind of play around with.
It's hard to know.
It is hard to know.
This is tough. I have no idea.
If you're not sure, then you can just go like kind of 1 notch from fully vertical. So like
here?
maybe 1 more, like about there. And then make sure when you do tighten your stem, that needs to be pretty tight. It says on the side 10 to 12 Newton meters. If you don't have a torque wrench, that is a pretty stiff one that you want to tighten up, because if it does come loose, it kind of sucks. Okay, so let's go ahead and tighten that.
Feels as tight as I would want to do it.
So now that you got your stem set up, we can go ahead and you can just tighten down your handlebars in the position you like them.
Pretty much straight right now.
Yeah. So for April, she likes with just a little bit of logo exposed, and then her stem is nearly vertical. But you'll play around with that as you ride it and see.
Probably.
So now we have the task of basically making sure that that's not crooked. You kind of eyeball it. What you want to have is the stem in line with the ski. If you look far out on the ski, sometimes it can be kind of hard. So what I like to do is look down and just try to center it with my ski mount. And good news is, if it's not perfect, it won't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. What you're gonna need to do now is you're gonna need to hold your handlebar straight so that it doesn't twist. And we're gonna actually tighten this down a bit more just to make sure that that's snug all the way. And then you'll need to tighten your 2 side bolts on the stem. Cool. And try to use the long part of your Allen wrench.
Okay. Oh, yeah, got a little more out of that.
All right, now it's just time for grips. So these are the stock grips that it comes with, but we have an upgrade. So we're just gonna throw on some loam grips just because that's what we're used to. Just for anyone wondering, these will install exactly the same way, and they also use the same 3mm Allen wrench, so you won't need anything differently. Good job.
Thanks.
Well, you got a full Snogo.
Yeah.
How was the build?
It went pretty good, and I'm glad that I was able to do it.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. You excited to try it out?
Yeah, I was skeptical at first, and then when I saw you ride it while I was snowboarding, it looked really fun.
Thanks again. We'll talk to you next time, and hope you have a good time out riding or skiing or snowboarding or whatever you do in the winter. Bye.